I want to give some details on real life money magic. Real life and magic don't go together that profoundly, but my work is about bringing those things together. So the brain wants to actively kick out anything that just seems a bit too inconceivable, too woo, too magical, like what? My work is about giving direct strategy and experience, the real life experiences that bring the conscious brain, the resistant part of us, say that can't be so for me. To create strategy so we're able to then bring results into our world, to manifest results into our world. Manifesting is just the compound effect of putting enough energy into something enough times that brings an alignment to it that makes it look like magic. It's not magic, it's how this whole world came into being. Quantum physics is my new favorite. It's about how everything got here. And so the way I found worked for me, a very big skeptic on this magical world, was to create evidence, to be willing to see in a different way. I use the term trying on the dress. I've got it in my book and I use it a lot. Every chapter has a little picture, whatever sensory stimulant it is for that day, of this is Monkey Minds, little girl there being like, that's mini me. Should I try on? Like, shall I? Shall I try on the dress? That dress is this magnificent, glorious dress, like the best kind of dress that you could ever imagine. You look at it and you're like, oh, that's not for me. It's too expensive. It's too tight. It's too revealing. It's too this. It's too that. I.e., it's beyond what I can conceive as for me. What I have to encourage myself to say is, oh, but it could be. I like the idea of it. It's out of my comfort zone. It's too fancy. It's too special. It's this. It's that. But I want it. I'm going to get curious around it and then I'm going to try on the dress. That's what I go into everything with. And if you want to be in my world, you have to be willing to do that, because that's how the magic comes into the real life. That willingness to go, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense, but I'm going to get curious enough around it to see, and I'm going to step. Then with each step, we start to get feedback from the universe in a different way. And as we step, that's when the magic, we can make space for the magic. That's when things that are extraordinary start coming into our life, and we call them coincidences, we call them synchronicities, we call them strange happenings, whatever it is, our brain tries to make sense of them. But through this work, we can start to be able to see and perceive that actually, I'm creating this. So then we try on the dress again and we get curious again and we do things differently again. And magic lands in our real life. Tangible forms. We must be willing to move and step forward, and that's when the real life magic can then land, and then we can go, oh, and we can put the links together retrospectively, but not before. A huge part of creating abundance in our world is about our willingness to be able to do that process. Step and know the magic's going to come. Step in real life and know the magic's going to catch up. Everything that I've created in this business, and it has been such a short space of time for me to be able to leave my teaching career of 12 years to go full time as a coach. It's all been based on this. When I look back, my first business coach was amazed by what I'd created, and she was like, how? And it's because of my willingness to know that the magic is around the corner and will come into real life, but I have to do the steps in real life, and then the magic gets to be. So when we're talking about money, money can get in the way for so many of us. It gets in the way because of the way we're taught to think about money and the way that so many people use money. But the reality is, if we don't get comfortable, then talking about money, holding big amounts of money, more than what your brain will say is necessary for one person. When we move into those spaces where we start to be comfortable around this, we realize that the freedom that we're seeking comes alongside having financial freedom. Without it, hi gorgeous, without it, we are tied. We are tied to jobs that we don't enjoy. We are tied to showing up in places and spaces that don't give us the physical freedom that we need. So becoming comfortable with the fact that money gets to be exciting and money gets to be a real part of the magic, That's huge. So I'm going to take you through the different weeks. It's going to be a 4-week program. The first week, and I didn't know why, we're away next week, and I kept thinking, but I want to start Monday. Sorry, the week after. I want to start on Monday. So why do I want to start Monday? Because I'm not going to be here for a week. It doesn't make sense. But every time I went to put the date after we're back in September, I was like, no, now. Do it now. Do it now. I'm like, why? I don't know why. So the first week that we're going to be starting on Monday is around this concept. Everything is energy. Understanding. Remember, we do the tangible strategies so that we get the feedback of, oh, the magic can exist, does exist, and can exist for me too. We do the real life strategy, and then we get the feedback from it. So I've got my literal itinerary for the next 4 weeks here because I want to go through it. Talking about how the makeup of the body, the physicality of the body, the construction of the atom being at the center of it. The only little solid bit is in the center, and everything else is energy. Everything else is movement. Talking about that and really getting cognitively an understanding of the makeup of us and how in actuality we are this antennae that is just standing, holding a frequency out to the universe like a radio with its little antennae just there ready to catch. What FM are we tuned into? Because that's what we're going to be catching. We're looking explicitly around money. How are we standing with this antennae? So what are we catching? What kind of frequency and energy are we catching around money? Now remember, money's a made up thing. It's a reflection of abundance. It's one tangible form of abundance. Once we understand the energy of frequency of abundance, I remember messaging my first mentor. She was a business mentor, being like, I can feel the energy of abundance. I'm not just talking money, I'm talking that overflow. I can feel that. She was like, all right, you bloody nutter. She wasn't spiritual at all. It's that. It's having that realization of, oh, everything's energy. What I am standing as an antenna to the world as is what is being attracted to me. So we're going to be looking at that on the first session together in week 1. And then reflecting, because this is going to be money, abundance, your business, or whatever it is, your work, whatever it is that you want to get out into the world. Now, if you're not doing what you want to be doing full time at this point, maybe you're still in corporate, maybe you have like a 9-to-5 job, looking at how this applies to there and how we can be seeking and searching for evidence there. And also, if you know that if you have an inkling of your more, if you know what it is that you want to be navigating towards and creating, looking at how we can do those simultaneously. If you are already fully into your work, you are a creator, a therapist, a coach, a mentor, whatever it is, how to get that energy of abundance into that. So we're going to be looking at the energies of things, but then also talking the hard strategy to go away with and implement. So that's what we're going to be doing on the first session. In the first week, there's going to be 3 sessions. That's the first. The second is going to be looking at the biggest thing in our way around money, around the idea that money gets to be magic. If there's any resistance to that concept, money is going to be limited. Money is not going to be coming in and flowing into your world and your business the way it is made to. So looking at what is holding that back. Why? Why doesn't the idea of an abundance of flow into your world feel exciting? Because if it truly does, it would be. And then you can do whatever you want with it. Give in all the ways you're meant to give. Serve in all the ways you're meant to serve with it. All of those things. The freedom that it affords you and your family to be able to grow into that version of you that you're here to be. Like, it's everything. What's in the way of that right now? So that's what we're going to be looking at in the second session. We're going to be looking at the biggest thing in the way. And then I'm going to teach a really specific strategy of how we get to overcome that. How we get to learn and explore and lean into that. And how we get to flip it. A literal strategy and tangible takeaway of how we get to flip that. Then the third session of the first week is going to be how you translate that into your work. Your work is so special and unique. Even if there's a gajillion people out there and like your egos, the trio in there being like, oh yeah, but like whatever they've got to say about it. There is something insanely special and unique about what you're here to deliver to the world, and only you can deliver it in the ways that it is made to be delivered. Full stop. The reason that people are going to want to be interested in your work above and beyond everybody else's, the trio was saying it's just the same as, is you. Is your uniqueness, your story. If you have taken strategy work with different business mentors, they all say the same thing. They all say, you are the answer. You are the one. You are the reason. Like, what is your unique voice? What is your unique selling point? And for so many of us, especially those who have overachieved, overthinking, people pleasing, it's really bloody hard to know that. It can get really lost in the mind patterns that get in the way. So that unique voice, that uniqueness to our work, that we're like, okay, well, you're all telling me that my answers lie there, but I don't know what it is. The third element of this is going to be me teaching you how to see that trio. How to spot the ones that are saying that whatever it is about your work and your message and your methodology, or whatever it is that you're here to deliver to the world, the trio have a lot to say about it. Why? Because their number one mission is to keep you safe, is to keep you alive. And going out doing this work, sharing your message, like they're going, oh God, don't do that. That sounds really big and scary, and that is taking us well outside of our comfort zone. Don't do it. The brain is against us. What we get to do is listen to that. And I'm going to show you in that third element how you can hear that, how you can work with that, how you can take that. The reason that I'm so passionate about this work is that it is a living, breathing investigation in the world, a really fun, light filled. I went to therapy and it sucked the joy out of my soul. Let's talk about no. What we get to do is make this world a creative, fun, imaginative space where we get to learn through it. So the third class is going to be about how we do that in and around money, and in and around taking our story around money and transposing it. Using the trio, using the first 3 chapters. So I'm going to be taking us through those things about how they're showing up in our life and what we get to do about it, and then how we get to share our journey. It's like this weaving of it all. So we're doing the mindset work about it. We're learning about our biggest money blocks and how we're not being this energy match for what we want to draw in. So we're seeing where that's getting in the way, and we're taking that out into the world, and we're like, oh my God, here and here, and then I get to flip it, and then I'm going to take you into how that gets to be translatable to your work, how you get to share it on social media, how you get to share it in your emails, how you get to share it with the world. And if you're not at that point, if you're like, I don't have a group of people that are chomping at the bit, all of this builds. I have got to this point in my business because I've learned how to do this. I've learned how to use this universe, this world, to translate the lessons I'm here to learn, and then to take those and create my story through it, and the lessons and the teachings from it. That's what the first week's going to be about. How we're energy, how we're being a magnet for everything that we are, but not just... So don't bloody be that way, because that's terrifying, especially if you've got OCD. Like, oh God, I'm creating this world and yet I can't stop. Like, ugh. So we look at how we're energy, we look at how we're creating this, and we look at how, in the second step, how to not, how we get to make it different, how we get to translate it into something else, and then how we take that translation out into the world, and then into our story that becomes our brand story, that becomes the sharing of who we are and what we do, and why what we do holds such a uniqueness to it. So that's the first week. Then the second week is going to be time and space to be able to go live and go share and go implement. When we have this time and space to take these techniques, to be a living, breathing embodiment of it, that's when people want to hire you. That's when people want to do the work with you. When they see that you're showing up, when they see that you're moving, when they see that you're learning, when they see that you're a living, breathing embodiment of your work, I'm going to show you how you can tangibly do those things, how you can tangibly take these ideas and put them into your work. You're going to implement them then. Then week 3 is us coming back together and reflecting. What's in the way? What do you like? What energy frequency is really working? What evidence is showing up for you? Because it will. The universe will conspire with anybody who's doing this. What's showing up for you as your real life magic evidence already, right now? And what's in the way? What's getting in the way of you creating the life and the business that you are here to create? That's what week 3 is. Then we get to look, and I've gone off piste here because I'm so excited. So these are some of the headlines. The headlines are why. Getting more power behind understanding why the heck we're doing this. We keep coming back to it. When all logic says don't, what on earth are you doing? Let's just get a regular job. I'm sure it would just be regular money and it'll pay. We won't. Why? That, getting clarity on that. Your work is art. Looking at it as this fun, imaginative, creative process that isn't sit down behind your desk and create. It's like, go live. Get the stories through your life. Get the translations of the codes of the universe through your life. What do they mean for you? Your work is art, and you get to show up as that. How that then interprets to abundance. We look at the law of the universal law of abundance, and how that translates into your business. When you are using your business, when you are using your strategy as art, they come into this beautiful alignment, and it is insane. It literally, real life magic. You'll be messaging me saying, what is this? Working hard versus working smart. And the strategies that I use to make sure a huge part of this work and the magic of it for me is the fact that I don't have to work hard. I refuse to work hard. I spent my whole life working hard, and I outrightly refuse. I get to choose ease in my life, in my business. My children, my husband are the most important things in my whole world. My business is centered around how I can prioritize them. So I'm going to show you the strategies that I use to mean that I can create. I've created a 6-figure business in less than 2 years. By working smart, by finding the ease, by refusing to give in to working hard, even though my brain really wants me to, because I've done it for 30 plus years. And I'm going to show you how to see marketing and sales as being something really different. Real life magic in your business doesn't happen when you see marketing as sales as separate. It's just one. It's like everything in this universe. It's all just this accumulation of oneness. And when we bring curiosity and magic into our business, when we see this world as an exploration, and all of the stories that are made for that, all of the stories that we are able to share are our direct experiences with awareness. And when we're able to take those direct experiences and we're able to create something that has impacted our life so profoundly, like you know already, sitting here watching this, you know what you have experienced right now that is profound. That's why you're doing this. When we can tie in the fact that sales is a part of this. I've never felt awkward with sales. Have I never, as I said never, there was an inhale. Have I never? Yes, there has been awkwardness. Right now, I do not feel awkward at selling this work. It is this extension of the work. Marketing is an extension of the work. When you can see this medley and it all intertwined is just an expression of your gift, of your work, you keep going into it, trying the dress on as in, I'm sure there's a different way I can be approaching this. I'm sure there's a different way I can see this. The magic of the universe opens up, but not just like manifesting out there. I don't get it. It's like, oh my God, this is real. I don't have to wish and hope and dream. It's real. It's real life, but it seems magical. When we work with the law of the abundance, when we work with the universal law of abundance, that real life magic comes into being. It's like gravity, like literally. It's a force that we can't see. When we actually understand it, which we can't, But when you go into these spaces and places, these universal laws, and you align with the energies of it, when you realize that you are just this vibrational body made up of cells with more energy and space in them than stuff, and you realize you can change that, you're going to align with different things. And when you put your mind on abundance, when you put your mind on real life money magic, that's what you attract into your life. So these next 4 weeks together are going to be the strategy behind it. The strategy of how you can stack the tangible real life things that you have, that you get to do, that you get to see, that you get to experience, and how doing those things calls in the stuff that feels like magic. The messages that I get from people saying like, what? It's not manifesting. Manifesting is just popping it, like in my experience, putting it on a mood board and like hoping for the best. It's not that. It's physically changing the energy that you vibrate at. And steering yourself towards the things that you want more of in your life. That's what I'm going to be teaching. The strategy, the energy, over 4 weeks. 1 week of that is the implementation, so we can see what comes up. We can see the joy, the real life magic that comes up. We can see the limiting blocks that are coming up. And then we strategize how we shift them. How we shift them. By the end of these 4 weeks, you will know where the blocks were. You will know how to shift them. You will know how to make real life money magic in your business. I can't wait! I hope that has answered all your questions. If you have any more questions, please let me know. You can send me a message and I will love to connect with you. Sending you so much love.